In this lesson, I want to talk about controllers. Controllers are a specific type of PHP class used for handling also routing. Each controller is typically made of one or more public methods called actions. And an action is essentially the same as a closure, but because it is used in a class, it's better suited for object-oriented programming. So as you can see, we have a folder called controllers here. Let's open it up. And we have an out folder and also a controller.php. When Laravel installs, there are a number of controllers included by default, including one to handle the welcome page you saw in the routing file, this welcome page. So let's open up this controller.php and see what we have. At the top, you see that we have namespace called app http controllers. This is used for every controllers you have. This is typically the name of the folder you are using, and previously in Laravel 4 we used to see all of these inside a single quotation, but for namespace we no longer use single quotation. We use namespace like this, and we have an Illuminate Foundation boss dispatch jobs, and we have controllers as base controllers, and we have validate request. These are things that Laravel actually inherits from base controller. One of them is base controller, and you see that we have abstract class. Controller extends base controller. What base controller is, we have default functionalities inside every actually base controllers. If you ever use with Ruby on Rails, we have all of the controllers inherit from application controller. This is basically the same thing. Anything you have in base controller now is included in this controller. To start creating a controller, you can come down here and right click on the controller, create a new controller and use it. But since we usually have this controller, let's copy this and show you the difference. Let's copy it, and then let's say about controller. The first thing you want to do in this controller, use this, remove the abstract, because you want to use it. If you use abstract, you cannot instantiate the class if you use the abstract keyword. I hope you know this, because this is the typical object-oriented programming concept. So let's make this about controller. The file name with the class name should be equal. And then it says extends base controller, and then we have use, and then let's get rid of this. And on the top, as you can see, we have a namespace called app http controllers. You have to have this namespace in all of your controllers in order to be able to use it. And let's open up this use to see what is inside. As you can see, again, PHP Storm is kind of differentiate the colors with. If you don't use anything, PHP Storm is going to highlight it as a dark gray, sort of dark gray. And then since we're not using this, we're going to delete these two. So the main thing we need for this class in order to work, we need to use namespace. We need to have this use in order to extend from base controller. All of the controllers need to be able to extend from base controller. For more information, I'm going to talk about base controller in depth later in the upcoming sections. Well, let's create a public function. Let's say public function. Let's name it show about. You can name anything you want, but typically Laravel programmers start typing with the keyword show, because that's what we are doing. We are showing something, right? And let's return a basic text. Say return. Let's say about page or new about page. Let's call it, because we usually had it about page before. And how to use this, how to call this as an action, because I told you before this is like an action, right? Let's go back to the controller, and then we have a typical about page right here. Let's comment it out, and let's add a new one. Let's come down here and add route, double colon get. That's inside the parentheses, it's define a path called about, comma, and then this is how you use controllers actions. Opening a single quotation, first thing we need to do is call our class. Our class name was about controller, make sure you spell it right, and then you want to use this action, you separate it with @ following by the action name, which is about, show about. Let's hit save and come back down here in Google, refresh, and then type /about like this, and then hit enter. This is what we get, new about page. So what this does is actually using the action instead of generating a new template. So what template is that? Anything you can do in the return statement right here. Typically we use this just a simple text. It can be a view, also can be a view like this, and then you can put all of this inside the parentheses, and it will generate a new view for you. But this is how you use controllers